Hey everyone, welcome back to Real Talk with Sadie. I'm your host, Sadie Ingen. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Sadie in LA96. You can listen to this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts at Real Talk with Sadie. And I do record these videos, so make sure to head over to my YouTube channel at Sadie in LA96. All right, let's just jump right into it. So, a TV show that truly got me through the pandemic was Ted Lasso, starring Jason Sudeikis, Hannah Waddingham, and Brett Goldstein. We all know who they are. And Ted Lasso seriously made me laugh, it made me cry, and I even yelled at the TV from time to time. I'm not kidding. It's such a feel-good show. And speaking of yelling, I really enjoyed the Pub Guys. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. The Pub Guys, well, I call them the Pub Guys. They are mega fans of AFC Richmond. They yell with all their heart and they speak what's on their mind. So I welcome to the podcast Adam Colborne, who played Baz, a loudmouth yet witty fan of AFC Richmond. And also, not only has he starred in Ted Lasso, but he's also starred in hit films such as Maleficent as the Queen's Handmaiden and Journey's End as Private Graham, which I'd like to know more about that. So welcome, Adam. How are you today?
Hey, Sadie. Thanks so much for having me. Yes, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. And I'm so glad you got to jump on this podcast. You are actually one of my favorite characters, and I hope people get to know you more. It's just such a feel-good character, and I can't wait to jump right into it.
I love that you say that about Baz. I think that's the first time anyone said that about him, but I love that. I think you're right.
I just can't believe it. No, it's a very unique personality, and we'll talk more about that later. Funny enough, a lot of my podcasts have been people from the UK, and clearly you have a British accent. So where do you live in the UK?
I live in London, baby.
London. Yeah. Yes, that is the city life.
Yeah, I live like quite near the River Thames, which is nice. So I get some like lovely walks and stuff, and near Tower Hill Bridge as well. That's not too far from where I live. So yeah.
Oh, beautiful. What a great spot too. And I live in Los Angeles. Have you been to the United States?
Yeah, loads of times. Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
But I was in LA in March for the premiere of season 3 of Ted Lasso.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah,
if I knew you earlier, we could have met up. We would have had a fun time.
Maybe
next time you're in town.
Yeah, I'll let you know for sure. Yeah, it was great. Although the weather wasn't as good as I was expecting coming from the UK. I was really hoping for a warm hit, but it just wasn't coming for us.
The weather has been odd in California, specifically like the fog can roll in, and then we had rain a couple months ago. You never know what you're going to get in LA. What's the weather like right now in UK?
It's really hot, actually. So I'm quite happy with that, even though we don't have AC. AC is a privilege, not a right, as we know. And
absolutely. It's such a privilege. Yeah.
It's so true as well. Like nowhere in the UK really has AC. So when it's hot, it's aching. Yeah.
Oh, but so lucky to live in London. Oh, I can't wait to visit. I'm going to go. That's my bucket list, truly. Okay. So have you done a podcast before?
No. This is my first. Thank you.
Give it up, Adam. Okay. Well, you're already
some more as well, I think. I'm probably got the bug now. So yeah.
Well, you're very charismatic and charming already. This will be a breeze. And congrats. So what is your favorite part about living in the UK? Truly.
Yeah, it's a great place, really. And I feel really lucky because I'm an actor and to be somewhere where acting, theatre, performance is so ingrained in the culture. Like I'm just very lucky, I think, to have been born here. I was born not far from London either. So London's always been very close to where I need to be. So if we went to the theatre a lot when I was young, and that was very much part of what we did as a family. So like, I'm really lucky to be here. I think that is so fortunate. And so, yeah, very grateful for that. Obviously, the weather is amazing. No, I can. It can be nice. It can be too hot. It can be really cold. It's like it's varied. But no, yeah, it's a nice place. And like I said, like being in London, being right by the Thames, being by Tower Bridge, like there's always something to see. So
of course, it's like LA is totally different. But yeah, like I said, I need to come visit you.
Well, okay, in the UK, like I like to walk. Like I walk most places.
Oh, wow.
Like from
See,
place to place. Like I love it. But in LA, when I was out there, it was quite different. Like we actually did walk quite a lot when we went. We didn't hire a car or anything. People were like, "Are you crazy? You didn't hire a car?" So we just Ubered. But we were like mainly in West Hollywood, and we weren't there for long.
oh
So we
yeah,
just
WeHo's great. I
yeah.
love WeHo. I was actually just in WeHo over the weekend at
Oh,
the
nice.
clubs with my husband. He loves the clubs are so fun in WeHo.
Yeah, they were amazing clubs. I loved it.
Yes, they are. So when you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up? Everyone has a funny answer.
Yeah, I actually do remember specifically my very first answer to this question was a toy shop. Not a toy, like a toy shop, just a shop.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to be the shop. I don't know, like how I was going to have that, how it was going to work. And then I figured that was probably difficult. So I actually wanted to be a jockey, like a riding jockey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like little as well, which
Okay.
like would have been perfect, except for the fact that I am like really allergic to horses. So
Oh dear. That did not work out. A
no,
jockey. Oh, that is such a good answer. I actually went to horse racing when I was little, and
yeah,
you're right, they are tiny, and it takes a lot of skill. That's impressive.
yeah. I would have loved it, but yeah, no. If I go near a horse, my face will blow up. So, like,
I
no,
don't know why that's funny. I just never met anyone who's allergic to horses.
yeah,
You think of cats and you think of dogs.
it's severe. Like, I wish I had this picture to show you. My face is like everywhere. Like, I straight to
Oh
horse.
man. So I guess when you are looking for roles, you have to make sure there's no horses nearby in your role.
I mean, that's like Game of Thrones out the window. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. It's like, oh, I just or a character that doesn't ride a horse in one of those things would be great. But yeah, sadly not.
So you mentioned that your family took you to theater as a kid. Was that when the thought of becoming an actor came to mind?
Yeah, I suppose it all kind of built into it in many ways. Like I went to the theater a lot, and like I grew up watching loads of like old musicals like Calamity Jane and Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, like real traditional like musicals, and I loved that. And yeah, and then I think just like slowly all these sort of like things that we used to do or like that I used to be interested in came together, and then yeah, I was like, oh, I should be an actor.
Wow. So not necessarily just theater. Was it TV shows too and film that got you inspired by acting? I want to hear more about that. Any interests?
I mean, I like I say, like yeah, I loved the old school musicals, like particularly the American ones as well. Actually, like just so magical and great. Yeah, and I mean, any other things that actually, I was a huge Buffy fan, but I don't know whether that is why.
Oh, Buffy the Vampire?
Of course, yeah, that was my jam.
Heck yeah. Okay, that's such a great answer, Adam. Truly. Okay.
I really love that. But no, like, yeah, there's so many. See, I'm the kind of guy, I find it really difficult to pinpoint like one thing that I love. I think throughout our lives, you like soak up so many different TV shows, films, experiences that like they all impact. But then when people ask me like, what exactly did, I'm like, which is helpful for you as an interviewer.
It's true. I mean, there isn't a right answer too. You can be influenced by so many things, and true, as you get older too, you might be inspired by different actors and different genres of things. But did you ever go to theater school, or I think drama school is like university?
That's right.
I'm still learning the UK language. It is difficult.
I know, right? Like we've got different words.
Well, yeah.
Drama
did you
school
go to state school? I think I'm learning that state school is equivalent to public school. Did you go to state school?
Yeah, I went to state school. So here we call public school private school. So public school is private school here, which is really confusing. So yeah, I went to state school, and then I went like through till 18 basically, and then yeah, I went to drama school when I was 21. So I had like 4 years after finishing graduating school that before I actually went to drama school. I was like trying. I was like banging on the doors, and they just were banging me away.
And wait, so you had a break between finishing school and then going to drama school? Did you have a lot of acting experience in those 4 years?
I did get to do some acting. Yeah, that was good. Like some small
Okay.
scale stuff and some like mini tours. Like we call it like TIE, theatre and education. I'm sure you probably
Okay.
have like something similar where you like go around schools and teach them about bullying and you do a little play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's really sweet. Oh, I can see that being just up your alley.
Oh
For
yeah, I was
sure.
like a bullied school kid on a bus.
Oh my
It's
gosh. Did you ever do any plays in state school?
Do you know what? I did most of my plays and musicals outside of school.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did like a youth theatre type thing, and I actually did a few. So I was like
Cool.
Artful Dodger in Oliver. I did another loads of musicals really, but one
Oh,
called
cool.
Back to the 80s. Yeah, there were quite a few different fun little projects that we did. And that was where I like really got the bug and met all my friends who like I'm still friends with today, who like, you know, we love to perform and we egged each other on and all applied for drama school together and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's really where like a lot of young actors here make their community. So yeah, it's fun.
Absolutely. Do you remember your very first play when you were a kid?
I was talking about this the other day, actually, funnily enough. It's
Oh,
quite
cool.
funny. I remember I was at nursery, so at kindergarten, I suppose. I
Oh,
must have
you're
been
tiny, tiny.
3. Yeah, really
Oh,
small. And I was on stage. I don't know what we were doing, something. And I just look out into the audience and I see my mom. And I just burst into tears. And I like had to go and sit with my mom. I was like, I don't want to be up on the stage. I need to go sit. I need to be with my mom. We'll watch this, fine. But like, I'm not doing this, which is hilarious because
oh, that's such a great
oh,
story, Adam. The stage fright is real. Do you do that now on set? Hopefully you don't burst out into tears.
I don't think so. I think
Oh
I'm
my
good.
God.
Just about. I mean, it's still quite daunting sometimes, I would say, but you know, you've got to roll with it.
Fantastic. That is so great. And so before your role with Ted Lasso, you did do some smaller roles in Maleficent. Is that correct? The Queen's Handmaiden?
Yeah, I love that that's still the role, like the name of the role.
I know. What is
like, hey, thanks. So yeah, well, like I filmed a few days on that actually. I didn't make the cut.
Oh, I've interviewed a lot of people who have been in these hit films and then but you still get recognition and it's still on your resume. So don't take that away. And hopefully that doesn't get you down at all, truly.
If you got paid, you got the credit. Well, I had a family loss during that time and I had to jump out so I could go to a funeral, which was sad, but it was what I wanted to do at that point. So sorry to drag that down, but that's why I didn't get to do the rest of what I was supposed to do. But
no, that is totally fine.
You know what? That was like an example of like an experience where it was like no pressure, low pressure, and that's really nice when you're acting and you're just starting out to like get a feel for like what they expect of you and how you should be, or like, you know, being an actor in situ and stuff like that. So
yes.
Yeah.
So did that come after The Journey Ends?
That came after. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. So Journey Ends was Journey Ends your first big set?
Journey's End was my first, and I got there on set, and I was like, "Hey," I was in my trailer, and I was like, "Where's the toilet? Where's the bathroom?"
I know. Let's talk about that first experience on set. It's a bit daunting. It's not like theater school where it's just like a stage. Oh my God!
No.
How did you feel?
I felt nervous, and I'm asking this lady like, "Where's the bathroom?" And she's like, "It's in your trailer, like here." Like I was like, "Oh, of course, I get this like little room," and that was quite going quite heavy quite quickly because it was like October, November that we shot, and it was out in the sticks, and they had dug like real trenches, and it was muddy, and it was wet, and yeah, we were like absolutely like all elements were upon us, and so it was quite a visceral experience.
Yeah,
I'm not a Boy Scout. I'm not that kind of vibe usually. So I was like, "Oh, get me out of these wet clothes!" But that was so fun and nice to do. Yeah, and nice because when I was at drama school, we did this whole project about World War I. So it was like, oh, it felt like so nice to do that when I was training it, and then do it as like a first film. It felt really nice.
Wow, history is very unique, and when people recreate like war. It's very intense. You weren't kidding about the money. I did see a clip. Oh my gosh. And you're a private Graham for anyone who wants to know the actual
Private Graham. That's right. Yeah.
Wow, it is intimidating to be on set like that. Did you know all about the language? I love talking to actors about when you're first on a set like that. Do you know the language, like know your mark, call times? Is that something that you had to learn, or did you have someone with you to really help you?
There are still things I'm always asking people. Like, I think
Yeah.
they're getting the call sheet. It's
Yes.
this, like, sheet, and it's got so much information on it and so many
Yes.
like acronyms or like letters and things next to things. And so working out what everything means has been quite a journey. And I think you're always learning.
Always
Uh,
learning and ask questions. I feel like I would be intimidated to ask people questions on set. Like, you should know what you're doing. But I think asking questions though is important, and it's good. It shows that you want to learn and
yeah.
be a good person on set. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, like there was a great great AD on that, Matthew, who on Maleficent actually, who was always so lovely and so forthcoming with the information that it made everything so easy. And I think that's it. You kind of like want to find those people that you feel like you can vibe with, or that you're not afraid to ask, or that they don't look too busy, that they're gonna be like, leave me alone, or
Uh-huh.
whatever. Not that people really do that. But yeah, so yeah,
Interesting.
ask questions, find out, because it's a whole new world. And when you go to
It
theatre school, you're like, you're training to do theatre, and you don't really get that experience of what it's like on a real life set. So
Exactly. Such a great experience for you. So after finishing up with Journey's End, were you like, okay, I can do this. I really like being on set. Is this something that I absolutely want to do? Because you never know. What if it was a really, really bad experience? And you're like, crap, what am I doing?
well, the fact that I did want to continue to do it even after being like so muddy and wet for like
Yeah.
3 weeks, I was like, great. But I was also thinking, like, maybe, in a studio or somewhere dry, something like that.
Exactly.
But no, I
Okay.
just that what it was really fun. It's always really fun to do something where
Good.
the actual place is giving something for you to respond to. That's always a gift, and so that's fun.
Absolutely. Well done, Adam. Well done. So let's just jump right into Ted Lasso because that is what I want to know everything about. And yeah, like I said, it's such a witty and outspoken character. My first question for you is, are you a fan of football and AKA soccer in America for my American listeners?
Yeah, very good, very good. So this is the $1 million question that I'm always like, I, I don't want to say no, but
And that's
no.
honest.
I'm
Okay,
not a
cut the
huge
podcast.
But the thing is about this is, which I always say, and I think, Baz is a Richmond fan. I have one team. Adam has one team. That is Richmond. Bronson and KG, who I work with, who play Paul and Jeremy, they
Yep.
support Manchester United and Fulham, and there's a conflict of interest there. Whereas for me, I have no team. So I am Richmond through and through, which I think is perfect for the person that plays Baz, because
Exactly.
he is for Richmond only, to be honest.
Absolutely.
And
I
I've
want
learned
to
a lot
starve.
about football. So
I love that. And how did you hear about the role? Do you have an agent? Tell me about that.
yeah. So I have an agent, and you get emails and calls saying, there's an audition. Will you go to this audition?
Sure.
And this particular audition, Theo Park, who cast Ted Lasso,
Uh-huh.
her office is in North London. It's quite far out of like central London, where a lot of the other offices are and stuff. And I was like walking there, and I was like, this is really weird. Like, where am I going? I don't even know. It's quite a unique, like quirky little place that she has. It's really cool in
Mm-hmm.
there, actually. But I was on my way there, and I was thinking this thing about football, and I was like, oh, football. I hope they don't ask me something about football. But
Oh
they
no.
did, thankfully. And yeah, and that's it. My agent told me about it, and yeah, at the time, I just knew that it was going to be. I think at the time, I think I just knew that it was a Warner Brothers project. I didn't even know that it was Apple TV or anything.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Jason's name had popped up on it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a bit mysterious and a new show, so I didn't really know what to think or what to
Exactly.
do.
And so the role that you auditioned for is Baz, but was that the role that you were auditioning for, or was it a different character?
Yeah, it was for Baz,
Okay.
Jeremy, and Paul, actually. So
Oh,
it was the
okay.
scene where um, Ted's wife, or ex-wife, comes to the pub, and then Baz descends on Ted and is like, "What are you doing with our team?"
Yeah.
And then he notices the wife, and he's like, "Absolute pleasure to meet you."
Right.
It was that scene, yeah.
Oh,
And
fabulous.
And so I had to read all of the Baz, Jeremy, and Paul parts in that scene.
Okay.
And yeah,
That
and
makes
then I
sense.
was fortunate.
The power trio. So did the script connect to you in some sort of way? Do you see any sort of Baz in you? Like, what is your personality? What is Baz's personality? What can you see in each other?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm similar to Baz, I have to say. Like in my personal, like my demeanor isn't quite the same as Baz. I think a lot of people are often like, oh, trying to like do a double take sometimes, and I like, take my glasses off or whatever. But I'm very passionate and I'm very competitive, and those two things like are exactly what I draw on when I like doing Baz, and I'm doing, you know, watching and getting involved and being just absolutely Larry. Yeah, that passion kind of thing really is definitely me. I get competitive. I don't always win, in fact rarely win, so actually that's perfect for Baz as well because he's used to losing. But yeah, so that's where it comes from.
So used to losing. That's what I've noticed throughout the whole kind of series, but always still optimistic in a way. And we can talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
So you auditioned and you do have experience because you've gotten other roles. So did you audition and then did you not think anything of it? Did you really want it?
I did really want it because I suspected that it was going to be quite a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
But because of the nature of like just acting in general, you kind of cast it to the back of your mind and you sort of just forget about it. And it was about a month, I think, after I auditioned that I got a call from my agent saying, oh, you have an offer, which is, you know, the rare call that you get, you know. So I was like, oh, great. Like, what's that for? I can't remember which one it was. And they said it's the Ted Lasso program. And yeah, so I was like, obviously ecstatic, and I had to go the next day to a read through, so I was obviously quite nervous as well instantly, and all the feels that go with that.
Wow! And is it the table read? Is that when you're actually with your I guess you call them coworkers? Was it KG?
KG and Bronson hadn't been cast at that point.
Interesting.
Yeah,
so the role was a little different. Okay.
Yeah, so they were still looking for the Jeremy and Paul. But it was nice. I arrived and immediately recognized Tom, who directed the first episode, because I'd worked with him on another show called Wasted, which aired on a channel called E4 over here.
Oh, cool.
Which is like, it's got Sean Bean in it. It's very funny. It's like set in the West Country of the UK and about their sort of like crazy life. It's quite good.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so I recognized him. I was like, oh, I know someone. That was really nice to see him. And then and then I sat down and sat next to Annette Badland, and I was like, oh,
wow,
oh.
it's happening.
Yeah, and that was lovely because actually Annette and I went to the same drama school. You know, it's been going on for about 50 plus years now. My drama school was, yeah.
Wow.
So she was there back in the day, and then I was there. So, you know, we kind of bonded over that a little bit.
Oh, fantastic. So I guess that was the first, my next question was going to be, who was like the first person you met that was part of the cast? And when did you first meet Jason and Brett and Hannah? Or is it different because your scenes are not always together, you know?
Well, exactly that. So like, I believe I met Jason at the read through, but it was quite like a brief, like, hello, nice to meet you type thing. Because you know, he's a gent and would introduce himself to everybody. But it wasn't until that first kind of like onset scene that we were like doing that we properly got to like hear his perspective on the characters, hear what he kind of wanted from us. And to be honest with you, we did a scene and we blocked it and we did it and it never made it. And I'm so glad it didn't, because it was like, it was crazy. We went really aggressive to him. It was really almost like scarily so. And it was like a bit dark.
A little intimidating. Oh, I would have loved to have seen that though. Oh my gosh.
Maybe it's somewhere in like the depths of some kind of computer somewhere. But yeah, so, I mean, Jason was explained to us how our characters are, you know, we're the fans, we're the Greek chorus, we're the fans of the show. We kind of personify the, you know, the viewers and the, we're the narrators in a way of the emotional journey of the team.
Exactly.
And he had some really amazing insights, and it made that then quite easy for us as a trio to, well, 4 of us really as well, because Annette was always part of that, but obviously her character oversees us in many ways. And it made it really easy for us to work out who is who and who has what energy, and like the hierarchy and the status. And if you have a line, like that would be a Jeremy line, and that would be a Paul line, and that's a Baz line, you know, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, such great energy. That's the thing too. Because I was going to say, it's no surprise that your character is outspoken. And I like what you mentioned, Adam, that you connect with him with like being passionate about something. And that's what really came through for your character. So I want to know, how did you get into the mindset of yelling and being such a mega fan? Did they say, okay, you need to yell a lot? Like, what goes through your mind to get ready for that role? I can't imagine.
I don't think they ever told me to yell a lot. I'm like, sometimes I'm like watching it back and I'm like, oh, you yelled big style on that one. Or like, that's a scream. The amount of times I like see my neck, you know, the muscles and the sinews in my neck like, popping out, and I'm like, oh my God. I am an expressive actor, and I will give 100.
Your facial expressions too. It's not just the yelling. It's just like your face. It's iconic.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's really kind for me to hear as an actor. As a person, I'm probably like, oh no. No, I mean, I definitely just felt like I had to give 110%, and you can always be told, you know, bring it back. That's a bit much, you know. And I think I remember doing my very first line, which is "Look at this twat," I believe, on the screen.
Or wanker or something.
Yeah. And then I did it like that, the read through. And then when we got on set, Tom, the director, was like, can you do it like you did in the read through? Because I kind of pulled back because you were like, oh, how far can I push it when you get on set and stuff like that. So I was like, maybe being a little bit reticent, but then they were like, no, just go for it. And after that, I was like, okay, I'll go for it. And then if it's too much, you could just always say, hey, maybe Baz is feeling okay today. Which he did do in season 2.
Exactly. And you can kind of see the progression of Baz too. I feel like, as you mentioned in the very beginning, I think he's just a little angry. You have this American coming in. He is a twat. But then as the seasons progress, I think you have more sympathy and optimism for the team and for Coach Lasso. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
I think for the character as well, like, he brought the team a little bit closer to us as characters, as the fans.
Right.
Like they were like suddenly within reach of us, physically.
Yes.
Like when they're in the pub and we're staring at Jamie Tart across the bar and this kind of thing. So even though it's like we hate you, we're also like really intrigued as to, oh my God, like these guys are getting like quite in our sphere, in many ways. So
it's almost like fangirling, but to the extreme too. You had such great banter too with the teammates. In real life, do you think you would be like Baz if you saw your celebrity in person? Or I don't know, would you ever act like, no, not act like him, but kind of just be
I'm not sure if I would. I'm probably more like, oh my God, like,
yeah.
Okay, so like I said earlier, like I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and
exactly.
Obviously Tony Anthony Head is in Buffy and also in Ted Lasso. So obviously meeting him was a huge moment for me, but as me as an actor, it's just sort of like, play it cool, just be normal. We're just colleagues, but there is a part of it that's like, this is huge.
That's so true. And all of your scenes are in the pub with your bros, and Annette. And so I was gonna say, like, the relationship between Ted Lasso and Coach Beard is like one of the main highlights of the show. But I feel like you still have to develop really good chemistry with your pub bros. That's what I keep calling them.
Yeah.
How did you develop that on-screen chemistry? Because you got casted, I guess, before they were even a thought. So tell me about that. How did you guys develop that chemistry? Did you meet a lot off set? It was so good. It was like such a friendship. I loved it so much.
Yeah, we got on really well very quickly. Helped by Annette being like the gorgeous sort of like mum type energy that we were like that was cohesive and made us all feel in safe hands because she's an absolute pro.
Yeah,
And a national
she's
treasure.
an actor.
Yeah. So to have her around felt really safe. And also the three of us are all quite different. You know, we have different personalities, but we gelled really well. It was helped by Jason, you know, being able to tell us, like I said, like, you know, you're like a Greek chorus, you know, you move as one, but you have three heads and you are different entities, but, you know, you kind of represent the same kind of thing, the different facets of the same thing. So that was really helpful for us. We all chat on a WhatsApp. We all have like really great relationships, and we love to see each other when we do. And yeah, like it was easy. It was really easy. And I think as the show went on, and as we realized, particularly as it's got to season 2 and season 3, how special the show was and how much it really meant to a lot of people, and therefore to us as well. I think kind of just it just really solidified that bond, because it was like, this is like an amazing experience we have here, and those kind of moments in life just do create some really special bonds. Yeah, they're great guys.
Oh, that's such a great answer. Thank you for sharing all of that.
Yeah,
and I really think your character and the guys is such a vital character to the show, because it's interesting, because we as just, you know, people, you know, using Apple TV to watch the shows, it's like we are fans at home, and I'm yelling just like Baz and the others because I want the team to win and do so good. So it's interesting I kind of relate to Baz because of the fan. And if they didn't have that role, I don't know if I would have been as excited. I'm not kidding. As excited to see them play and win. Because you just verbalize it, you know?
I think it was really clever of them to have almost like a lens with which the audience could really get in.
Yes, a lens. Exactly.
And like you say, you really identify with the fans, and then you really, you know, you really care like with the fans. And yeah, so I think that was a really, really clever device. And yeah, I loved being able to be a part of that. And yeah, I've had so many lovely messages from like so many people, and I'm so grateful for those, because yeah, just because we're just like fans watching the game. But
and I became a fan of you. I'm a fan of you. And you know what? You're in a whopping 23 episodes.
I know. That's crazy.
That's a lot. Did you expect the character to go on for so many seasons? Because you think of all fans, they can throw in strangers at the pub every episode if they wanted to. But no, they kept you guys. I think that's so special.
Yeah. I mean, like, I am absolutely, we were shocked. Well, not shocked. We were shocked, but we weren't shocked. You know, like, we were waiting for the announcement of season 2, and we were texting each other like, have you heard anything yet? Or are we going to be, do you think we'll be in, do you think we'll be in season 2? And I'm looking back at how obviously the show, you know, turned out. And it's like, obviously you were like, you know, like you were in it. Like you can't change the pub guys. But yes, there was always with acting as a career, you know, there's always a little bit of doubt, you know, that inner saboteur.
Of course.
He's there being like, they don't want you back. You were rubbish.
No. Question for you, because I know when you have the writers and they write the scripts, did you ever get notes about Baz? Like how you're feeling a particular way on a particular day? Was that something that you were able to read upon, or was it just lighthearted? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, totally. There were occasions, like I remember filming episode 9 of season 2, which is the Beards Night Out episode, and I remember one of my notes like getting shouted at across the set was like oh no, it wasn't even shouted at me, it was written in the script in brackets, not shouting.
Oh, that's for you personally.
Okay, I get that. And so actually that was a bit of an indicator for me, and the way that I saw it after that moment in the whole series where we got to go out with Coach Beard was that turning point for the characters. And it was a moment of like, we were outsiders, and then suddenly we're maybe in a little bit more. And I think from that point on, there is a shift. particularly for Baz, who is always so crazily, you know, angry and out there and shouting, blamey. So after that, I think I tried to bring in a little bit more gentleness, you know, gentleness to Baz, but without losing his drive and his passion.
Yeah. Oh, that's one of my favorite episodes too. And you guys had a lot more speaking roles than just, you know, kind of yelling in the pub. Were you excited when you got that script? Because you really got to travel around. Like, is it London? Or is to the
Yeah, we were doing night shoots around London.
It was all in the club, the speakeasy kind of. And you guys had to really put on your A game and lie about your college profession. Such a great so tell me about that episode.
Yeah, that episode. So we had heard like rumors. They were like, so turns out you're getting out the pub. And we were like, we're never getting out the pub. We will die in this pub with the fake beer. But then eventually we heard about it and something that never really happened. And then eventually we got the script, and like I got the script and I kept turning the pages and it was like we were speaking and we were still speaking. And so actually I have to say, like, it was like very, very, I was like, I think I shed a tear. I was just like, this is so amazing. Like, we have more to do in this episode, and we were so grateful and happy to be doing what we were doing. But the fact that we got to do Beard's Night Out, we got to, you know, be instrumental in his crazy night and got to do more and do that was just so special. And actually, like, the three of us on the very last shoot, it was a really late finish. It was something like 2 a.m. and we like got together, like me and Bronson and KG, and we were just like, this is really crazy and special, guys. We were like, I love you guys. We was like group hug together, because it really is like, you know, when you're an actor, these things don't happen very, very often. So when they do, it's like honor and treasure it and be really grateful, because it's super special. But yeah, loads of late shoots, loads of fun locations, some right near my house actually, which was quite cool because I got to walk home.
What a great story too. And when you're working with people for a long time on set, because clearly that was your relationship with your two bros, did you guys become kind of family towards the end? And it's 3 seasons, right?
Yeah, in the same way that like the characters have their dynamics, like we had our dynamic, and it's hilarious because of the three of us, I'm the quietest.
Wow, that is so ironic too. See, acting, you're a true skilled actor, Adam.
I know, right? These two, no, just kidding. But I know, I mean, they might, you know, they might argue that, they might say no, but I'm the quietest.
So what is your most memorable part on set?
Gosh, like many memorable moments. I think like obviously keep talking about episode 2, season 9, but when we went on the football pitch at the end, you know, is this heaven? No, it's Nelson Road. That moment was like, what? And to be honest with you, I didn't play football when I was younger. I did acting and singing and dancing. You know, it's a different world.
It is a different world.
So they were like, go out there and be lads, you know? And I'm like, I don't know.
How do I kick the ball? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'm like, but then when we were out there, again, like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, running around, sweating like crazy. We were so out of breath. We were really, really like giving it our all.
Fantastic.
And there's a great moment where it looks like I score the best goal ever. And I 100% line it up. And like I made it so easy for myself, but when in the final cut it looks like I've really done an amazing goal, and I love that moment.
Thank you to the editors.
I know the editors are fantastic.
And it's a real stadium?
That was the training ground. They do a lot of CGI on it without like, you know, ruining the magic. But obviously they do go to the proper stadium as well. But that specific bit was on the training ground, and yeah, it was good fun.
No, very good.
And we slide along the ground and we like all hug at the end. And like I said about the story about how we finished, it was kind of like that, you know, that victory. So yeah.
Absolutely great. Can you tell me about your hardest part on set? I love the vulnerability on these podcasts. The hardest part on set. It could be a mind kind of block, whatever you think.
Do you know what? I think like early on, because I felt like this character and I was, you know, so big and so loud. Like I think
Yes.
always, like I said about the inner saboteur, like you're always battling with this thing of like, oh, how big shall I go? Or like, oh, you should have gone bigger. And I think like being on the show, because it was my first time that I've done something like this, like that's been ongoing, and that you've been able to really feel comfortable and secure as things have gone on, like it's really taught me to just go for it and just offer things, be big. You know, if people want less, they'll ask for less, and just that. So like it's been one of the biggest challenges, but also the biggest like lessons I've learned is like you've just got to go for it.
Yes, absolutely.
And no matter what, like you think, like, you know, I might have got a little bit stuck in my head about being like, oh, well, I'm an imposter because I'm not like the biggest soccer fan in the world. Like, and that kind of sometimes, and I'm like, check myself and I'm like, you're an actor.
Yes, you can be whoever you want. Be whoever.
Yeah. And I want to play
Yes.
characters, right? I don't want to play myself, like just maybe, you know, I don't know, a biopic. But one day.
But no, it's a great answer. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I love characters. I love accents. I love physicality and all that stuff. So it was such a joy to play Baz because I really got to do all those things.
That's fantastic. So what is your favorite? Okay, first question is, what is your favorite scene playing Baz?
Playing Baz. I loved the scene, the dart scene, for a few reasons.
I was going to bring that up. Yes.
Yeah, the dart scene is incredible. That was the moment that we were filming, like, because that was season 1, so it hadn't even released yet. That was the moment that we were filming where I was like, this is really good. Like, this is very good TV. It's going to be really good. And so there was that, like Jason's monologue when he's talking about, you know, be judgmental, don't be curious, not judgmental. That bit. Also, like the fact for me that like a personal hero, Tony Head, was in a scene with me. That was a great moment for me as well. Like a professional, like great tick. And also, like it was one of the few scenes that we got to do with Hannah, who is a literal like amazing human
I love her so much.
Yeah, you
That's
can't.
A great answer for you.
Yeah, and it's so nice. And she has this great line where she's like, "You shut your little twat mouth, or I'll shut it for you." and then this bit got cut as well. I'm giving all these cut, like deleted scenes away, but and then
I love this information behind the
scenes. Paul KG turns to me and's like, "That turned you on a bit, didn't it?" And I'm like,
yes. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, but it didn't make it, but that's okay.
Oh, that'd have been so great to see. Oh my gosh.
It was for the character.
To be in that crowded pub with everybody pretty much. Yeah, that's a great answer. Do you have a favorite scene overall? Not just being Baz, but a scene that's just memorable for you?
Yeah, there's a few actually, I have to say. Like there was one, but there's in season 3, there's a scene with Keely and May. They're at the pub, and Keely's just like obviously had this horrible moment with Jack, and May's like giving her advice, and just to see Annette doing her bit, knowing her and seeing her be able to just have this great scene with Keely. I actually like found it quite emotional, and I like texted Annette afterwards, and I was like, that scene was so good. Like that was a really standout moment for me in that. And then I'm such a big Annette fan, but like also when there's a poem she recites to Ted about your parents, Philip Larkin poem. They fuck you up, your mum and dad. That bit. That's so really cool. Really cool bit as well. God,
I love your answers too. It's like very specific too. They're not some grand like soccer scene, which is fabulous.
Yeah, no, I think
I really like that.
That's the thing about this show. Like it really kind of like can fulfill all those like things that you want from a show. Like it has the pathos, it has the big moments, it has the victories, the lows, the comedy. It is like, yeah, it has it all. Like it really does. And I just have season 3 like really like fresh in my mind as well, because I've been watching it and loving it.
It was such a great season, and it was really, to me, it was a little different than the other seasons. It's not just about football, like gung ho, but it really showed like everyone's lives, and how they are all different and they all come together as family on the team. It was really, really beautifully written, and I'm so glad that you made it through all 3 seasons. So, can you tell me about your last day on set ever? I'd love to hear these stories. Was it emotional for you? Do you remember what scene you filmed?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, do you want to know about the last day in the pub or the last day on set? Because they were 2 different things for us.
Oh, let's hear both. I love it.
So the last day at the pub was, we were filming one of our last scenes, which is we get shares to the pub.
Right.
And they get Paul these like white gloves that he's wearing so he doesn't get his fingerprints all over the shares and stuff, and it's just fantastic. Like, it's obviously like that is exactly Paul. Like he would be doing that. And so that was the last scene. And then we kind of knew, like, because there's this moment and it's like a hearkening to Cheers, because obviously Jason's uncle was in Cheers, and Annette moves this sort of like picture, and it's like an image that they harken back to in this finale of Cheers, basically. Like, it felt really like seminal. Like, they were doing these things and these moments that we had that were like really, really meaningful, and it was just a really quick shot, but it was like felt really punctuated. Like, this is it. This is your character. It's kind of like full stop. And yeah, getting those shares, even for us as the actors, we're like, oh my gosh,
I would have lost it, honestly. That's so good. And the energy. Really quick thought. I was thinking too, when you watch, like, if the team scores, the whole pub goes crazy and yelling. Is it authentic? It just seems so real. And like, when you like laugh, like fake laugh, but then you start actually like laughing real. Does that happen too when you're on set and you're cheering? Does it come out just natural?
Yes and no. Like, sometimes
Really?
the TV's not on. There's like a cross on the TV, and they're like, look at the cross. It's like,
oh yeah.
Bring something. And there is usually, like, somebody there going, especially if it's a set kind of piece, they'll take it through. McAdoo's got the ball, and now he shoots, he misses, and like, so they help us with that kind of journey. And so we can't really get into it. And particularly with the help of all the people in the pub with us, particularly those people that we were there, maybe not like having lines, but were there from season 1, like Lisa.
Like background characters do have to come in and start yelling. Exactly.
Yeah. And they would all, like, we would all build towards it and stuff. And particularly KG, but also Bronson as well. Like, they have infectious energies, and you can't help but be swept up in all that.
So that's great. And that helps you bring out the best in Baz too. So that was the share scene was your last pub scene. So what was your last day on set? Well,
we were actually invited to Coach Beard's wedding. And if you look closely, we are there.
Oh my God. Okay, I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
I blink.
They didn't have it.
How are you feeling? Because that's an emotional scene. Seriously.
Yeah.
Ending. Oh my God, I would have been a mess. Did you cry?
It was, we cried. Yeah, we cried at the end. We don't love crying, but it was because, like, we were all dressed up, and like, we actually wore the outfits we wore in season 2, episode 9. So like, if you can pause on the wide shot of us in the wedding, you'll see us bottom right. We're there.
It's gonna be the thumbnail for my Instagram, and you repost it. Okay.
But what I really loved about that scene was it was the last ever day, and like, as you can see, my hair, I play with my hair a bit. Like, I change it around. Why not? Fashionable guy. But but with, like, so Sophie, who was doing my makeup for the whole season, would always be like, oh, I don't want to put grease in your hair. I don't want to make you look all greasy and horrible. And we're like, no, we got to do it. But anyways, in the final episode, they did my hair like all slicked. Like, I was at a wedding, and I was like, this is Baz now,
Looking dapper. Is that the right term? Dapper?
Very dapper. So that was fun, actually. Like, as for a physical change and sort of like show a bit of like character development in a really slight way.
Yes.
But just
That's
to be able
gross.
to, right? He's grown, but just
He
to have
really is.
that chance to have a character that does grow and change like everybody else, no matter how big or small the character is. Like nobody really felt like they were left behind. So that was really cool. Yeah.
What a great time.
Yeah.
Such a huge hit, and congrats on that. I want to see more from Ted Lasso, but I think it ended properly. There is no season 4, correct?
Not to my knowledge. No, it's finished. Yeah. But you know,
what a
I'd
great
love to see more. I'd love to see more, but I don't think we will right now.
Oh, and you answered my question earlier. The beer is fake. And I wanted to know, just a quirky question, like, did you have to drink a lot of it? And I feel like with drinking, there has to be, you don't want to mess with the continuity, right? Was that hard to do? Continuity is huge. I don't think I missed it unless you did. You have a good eye and you know episodes like crazy.
I think I'm quite conscientious. Like
Yeah.
I just kind of am. I'm a bit like that. So I'm like, oh, my drink. I think my drink was like fuller there than it was there. And obviously everyone's there to help and keep continuity going. But the beer was gross, horrible. It was disgusting. And every time I was like, and it was so flat. And they would bring along a little electric whisker to whisk it up to give the beer. Yeah, exactly. And I would just be like, I don't want to drink this. But you know, we did. But there was obviously a scene in season 1 where not only did we have to drink it, but like we had to like
quantity. Isn't there like tons of glasses on the table? Just like
well, there's a one bit where it goes everywhere, and it's like sprinkling. They had a watering can above us, pouring out the fake beer onto our head. And if you look closely, you can see me being like it's really tough.
Fantastic. Oh, so the beer is fake. Can they ever sneak real alcohol? Or is that way too late?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it wasn't as bad in season 1, but by season 3, it was like we are being fed some horrible thing. But you know, it's fine.
It's true. But thank you for your role with Baz. I think I'm a huge fan. I always will be. And did you get to keep your iconic Richmond scarf?
I haven't got the scarf. I have got like a jersey, like I've got a top.
Okay.
So that's
that'll do.
Yeah.
That'll do.
You're right. I wore the scarf a lot. And sometimes I'd be like, I don't think he wants to wear the scarf today because it would be really they'd be like, oh, I think you wear the scarf. And I was like, oh, I think today's like not wearing
it. Hey, that's good.
But like Jackie, who is the costume designer, is so lovely and so like collaborative that she would be like, oh yeah, you're right. No, that's fine. He doesn't have to wear it today. Like,
okay, very good. I have so many more questions, and I do want to talk about just like general acting questions too. But my last question about Ted Lasso is, oh, excuse me, let me get some water.
Of course.
What is your biggest takeaway from being on a set that big?
Cool, biggest takeaway. Gosh, that's such a big question.
A life lesson from Baz. How about that?
Yeah, I think I touched on it earlier, and it is like, well, this is specific. Like if you're an actor, like you have a lot of setbacks, you have a lot of knockbacks. You know, your journey is unique, and you know it is what it is. But when you get onto set, I think like the thing that I learned the most was just like go for it, be strong. Know your lines, be ready to adapt. Like that's like something that was like really asked of us, is to like adapt, and things would change in the moment, and lines would change quite often.
Wow, I was gonna say, did you ever have to do improv? Like, did you ever get to be flexible with your acting?
A little bits of improv. Like I would never like take any credit for any kind of the writing in line, but maybe occasionally you might add a flourish, and they might go, I like that, and so like that's great. Like the you know, the chants and things like that, like we would definitely collaborate with like the writers and directors on those things as well. So they definitely did give that space, and you know, for us to give input.
Oh, the chants are iconic too. I love the good chants.
Brilliant.
Well, you know it here first, Baz. Baz is great. But no, I would love to ask you just more about your general acting career. Like, what roles or genres are you most interested in, and why?
Great question. Yeah. I think I will do most things. But I love fantasy and sci-fi.
Hey, that's great.
I always have. Like, that's just my jam. I love like dystopic. Like, I'm watching the new Black Mirror at the moment. Like,
oh, me too. I just finished Jonah's Awful. It's fantastic. Yep.
Loved it. I love
me too.
China. She's amazing.
Oh, I could see you doing that. And you know what? It is true. Like, your personality is so different than Baz in a way. I'd love to see you go into like a sci-fi. Oh yeah. Okay, hopefully soon.
I'd like to think evil, maybe, or like something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I could see you being a villain. Would you want to do a villain role?
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like Kieran Culkin as well, like in Succession, that kind of character as well. Like,
good answer. Yeah,
he's very kind of like, I wouldn't say evil, but he's sly and underhand and like that kind of character. I actually remember like when I was at a youth theatre when I was really, really little, I was in The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. I don't know if you know the story. But I really wanted to play Edmund, the brother.
Oh, the brother. Yeah.
Wanted that part so bad because I just thought he's like, you can get your teeth into that role. But I ended up playing Mr. Tumnus, which was probably more like maybe a bit more like my natural personality. But I was like, no, I want to be the bad brother who's like mean and messes everything up for everybody.
I want that. Oh, and it was instilled in you. Okay, one day. Hey, that's a great answer though too. And how do you personally like prepare for your auditions? Do you have any techniques that you bring to your characters?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. I think with auditions, like I think less is more personally, but I don't always end up doing that.
No shouting in the script. No shout. I'm just kidding.
I think they should write that on every script I get, like less facial expression, less volume. I will give, you know, like I'm going to give 110%. So I always tell myself less is more. Like I said before as well, like I like to do physical characters. So maybe getting into a bit of a physicality, but then throwing it away and just being instinctual in the moment, because that's really how I think I work. And from the actors I've met around me, I feel that's how they work, although I could be wrong about many of them. But
no, all good. So when you get auditions for a particular character, do you just get like a small snippet? You don't like know the whole story particularly of the character, so do you just have to kind of wing it and go for it and how you interpret the character personality? I'm always interested on how that works.
Yeah, sometimes they'll send the whole script.
Okay.
It depends, or an episode or two. If it's a new thing, maybe the whole episode. Although I didn't get that for Ted, so it's not a given. So yeah, sometimes just a snippet. Sometimes like hashed together bits and moments that make absolutely no sense. Sometimes like, we're not telling you what this project is. The characters' names have been changed. Like,
that's crazy. And you said things also change last minute on set too, and you have to be like prepared for that. Yeah, I feel like there's so much that goes into acting. Like, it seems a lot harder than people think. I think it's. Do you think it's hard being an actor genuinely?
I think the stuff surrounding it is, to be honest. Like that for me is like, I think like we do it because there's a passion and something that we love to do.
Sure.
And so then when you start to like, you know, add those other elements that surround it, you know, it's as fun and exciting as some of those bits are, like, which they really, really can be. I don't find the acting bit tough necessarily, like in general, although some characters are harder than others, I would say. But it's all the other things that can get in your way mentally. That's difficult.
The mental block, I bet.
Yeah.
So you persevere over that. No, I bet you're just fantastic though. Are you very organized? Like, do you love to prep like way ahead? Can you remember your lines like a day before?
I like to prep in some ways, yeah. Like I'm quite Like on set, I definitely was the guy that was like, guys, they called us, we've got to go.
That'd be me. Oh yeah, I get paranoid, a little anxiety. Okay, I love that for you though, Adam.
Yeah. That's me. I'm like, they'd be like, we're coming. And I'm like, come on, guys, called us like 5 minutes ago. So yeah, I'm a little
You're
bit more
professional.
Yeah, a consummate professional.
Yeah.
So, but you know, I think it changes with each thing, and if you're going on somewhere that you know, like with Ted, I think as things moved on, like I would obviously read the script, but also be like, don't get it too much in your head because it could change.
Exactly that.
And I think that's the difference between working with Americans versus working with British, creatives, is that I think that the things change maybe a little bit more across the pond, and this side things are a lot more set in stone, and they rarely change too much from what they started. That's my
perspective. Yeah. No, that's a great perspective. Thank you for that answer. I love that. Very, very good.
And I love working with American people. I just love it. It's great.
It's different here. Yeah, come over to LA, please. There's so many movies here.
Yeah, I do. I will do, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Now, if you can give any aspiring actors advice, what would it be? And what have you learned? And by the way, if you don't mind, how old are you?
Yeah, I'm 34.
Very good. Yeah, you're still really young in this industry, so I bet you have tons of advice. Let's hear it.
Okay.
For aspiring actors.
No, that's good. That's a really good question, I think. I say get a hobby. Because when you're young and you want to be an actor, you kind of like, you love to act. It's fun. It's your hobby. It's your main thing. But then when you become an actor who does it professionally, your hobby becomes your job. Yeah. So I think like filling the void of the hobby is really important, so that you're getting some like unadulterated, literal joy for joy's sake joy, rather than, and I think that you can still get a lot of that joy from being an actor when you like sometimes, but for me it's like, yeah, like having something to like defer to when you're feeling a bit like bummed, like you didn't get that audition or things are going that way. It's like, how can you escape, find something that really like sparks your passion in the same way. For me, like answer. I am really into astrology, like crazy as that might sound to some, like I love it. So that was my new hobby. Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm Capricorn. What are you?
Oh, I'm a Capricorn moon.
Do we get along?
Yeah. You
can tell already. No, I'm not into it, but I do know people are. And I'm gonna text you after this. I gotta learn more. Yeah. Give me everything. How's my future looking? No, that's actually awesome. That segues into like my little lighthearted questions, because I want to just know a little bit about you more. So yeah, my first question was, what are some interests or hobbies that you have outside of acting? Do you have anything else? Do you like to go out and take nature walks? Do you like to read?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, like me and my partner like to go out for like walks. Enjoy the nature. We have so many parks in London, and so many like really lovely like bits you can walk around. As I said, I love to walk. So yeah, I really enjoy doing that. Also, video games and board games for me like are, top.
Me
top
too.
Love
yeah. Do you have the Nintendo Switch?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
You have Super Mario Party?
Mario Party. Yeah. We play with friends.
I'm obsessed with Mario Party, and so my husband and I love to do video like FaceTimes with our friends, because we have friends like all over the place. We should do a game night.
Yeah. We do that with our friends too.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, it is. Okay. It's great fun and really frustrating. I won the last time though, so I lost
the last time. I had 0 stars, and my husband had 3. Yeah, I'm pissed off.
Did he steal any from you?
What?
Did he steal any from you?
No, he didn't. But he got that stupid block. Now we're gonna go off Mario Party.
I know. We
have like a hidden block, and you hit it, and then the star comes out.
Oh yeah, I never get that though. So.
I'm playing Red Dead Redemption right now. I just finished The Last of Us Part 2. I'm trying to do more adult video games. It's hard though.
It is hard. I know. Someone asked me recently, they're like, "What's your go-to?" And I was like, Mario Kart.
Yes, Mario Kart, Animal Crossing. My friend's playing Disney right now. Are you into Disney? You should get it.
Oh, I haven't. Oh no, I know the one. I haven't played it.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, very good. I love games. Okay. My next question is, what is your go-to comfort food or guilty pleasure snack?
Chocolate, gotta be.
Really?
Chocolate.
I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that. All the way.
I'm basic. Just I eat quite a lot of chocolate. Actually, like overnight, I will just be like whole bar for myself.
I love that. After a long day on set, do you eat chocolate?
Yeah. I think after a long day living, I eat chocolate.
After a long day of living, duh.
It's like a daily occurrence for me. So
Okay. I
Yeah.
love that. Is there such a thing of like English chocolate, or is that not a thing?
I definitely think English chocolate tastes different to American chocolate for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a difference for
I love
sure.
all the contrast. Very
Yeah,
good.
yeah. There's a person on TikTok, and she's like American parents, British snacks, and she's yeah, she's like I don't know, like a southern state, and she's introducing her parents to all these like English candy bars and stuff,
Oh my
and
gosh.
it's really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that then. Thank you.
Yes.
I love TikTok. I'm addicted to TikTok.
You're welcome.
If I could claim TikTok as a hobby, then count me in.
It's so easy as well. You just have to do this.
I know, the mindless scrolling, doom scrolling.
Yeah, doom scrolling is a real issue.
Mhm. All right, Adam. What is a skill or hobby that you have that might surprise people?
¿Puedo hablar español?
Oh, see. Are you actually fluent in Spanish?
No, I'm not fluent, but I really enjoy speaking Spanish.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
yeah,
living in Los Angeles. It's good to be bilingual.
Absolutely, and I'm like I love to be able to go to Spain and practice speaking Spanish, because I think like you have to be in the culture and like submerge yourself in the
I
culture
love
to get
that.
better.
Oh, absolutely. That was
Yeah,
my next question for you too. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go and why? It doesn't have to be Spain.
yeah. No, I mean I've been to Spain, so I probably shouldn't say that. That would be
Yeah.
waste.
No, we need a new answer where you haven't been yet.
Yeah, true. I'd love to visit South America.
Oh yeah.
Really love to visit there. But I'm also I've always had like this thing about Hawaii that I've always wanted to go. And
Yeah, that's a long flight for you. It's like 5 hours.
It's like a 9-hour flight, and then like a 6-hour layover, and then it's like another like weird flight somewhere else, and it's really hard to get to. I think that's probably why I really want to do it, because it's a challenge.
Yeah.
But then when you get there, it's just like absolute paradise, I think.
It is like paradise, and it's
Have you
great
been?
for me. I've been several times, but only to Oahu. I really don't. No haters here, but Oahu has, I think, become really more like commercialized. So like go to Maui or like Kauai, that's more like paradise. But you can island hop. That's a great answer. Go, go, go.
Oh my gosh, I will, and I'll get all your information on that so I can have a good trip. Yeah.
Do you have any pets? And if so, tell me about them.
Oh no, I don't have any pets. No, I have like a tiny one-bed flat with no garden and no balcony, no terrace.
Let me see. No, it's fine. I have 1-bedroom flat.
No, yeah.
No.
I have a great view. Let me see if I can show you the view. I mean, do people hear this? It's quite a British view. It's like a gorgeous kind of like.
Oh, I love that. Oh, look at all the trees. Ours is you can't see it. There's tons of trees. We're in a little townhome in LA. It's great.
Oh, I love the houses in LA because they're all different. Like every little individual house is different. Whereas here, a lot of things can get quite samey. Like down the street, it's like the same. So I really like that.
Are there single family homes in like London? Because I feel like everything I see is a townhome, like shared walls. Is that not true?
You're more likely going to be in like an apartment or a flat if you are like a single family home would be like that, I guess. The townhouses are gorgeous, but like expensive and large, and usually they're actually broken up into flats anyway.
So what, like all of England homes are not, they're different from American homes.
They look different, and there are like lots of areas where all of them look quite the same, with the same kind of brickwork, and it's all kind of uniform. But obviously there are some places, the older houses and like more out in the sticks, where things are just like much nicer and more unique and individual.
Interesting. Yeah. Do you know a city, like if I were to go to London and I want to see like the countryside, not like London, what's a good town for that?
Well, if you were going to come to London, then gosh, like anywhere like 40 minutes on a train, north, east, south, or west.
Wow.
It's surrounded by some really nice counties that are really green. Essex is like has a really interesting reputation, but it's one of the largest and the greenest like counties, and that's actually where I went to drama school. So I've been next to a really famous forest where there's a famous highwayman called Dick Turpin. I don't know if you've ever heard that name.
No, I haven't.
Okay. So he was just like this guy that used to like rob people in the forest, and,
oh my
and I
God.
used to go to the forest, and he would.
Fun fact! Look at you go, little historian. Well, thank you for that.
That's okay.
Okay, a couple more questions.
Yeah, no worries.
Are you having fun? I'm having so much fun. You're a delight. So thank you for this.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, do you have a book or a movie or both that has like a profound impact on your life? I'm not much of a reader, so I'll break the ice there.
That was my New Year's resolution, was to read more.
Good. Me too. I'm so big. I actually did read Page Boy by Elliot Page because I really
cool. That's good.
Really good. Emotional too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I gave myself the task of reading 24 books this year, which is 2 a month, which I now
do the math 12 times 2. Yikes.
I am way behind. I'm way behind.
Well, reading your script should count as reading.
You're right. Yeah, that's so true. But
how many have you read? I'm gonna call you out.
1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. Maybe
That's
not.
Pretty good. That's like one. It's already halfway through the month. It's like 1 book a month. I think you're great.
No, I think it's less than that. Then I must. I think I'm lying. There is a book I read a couple of. I read it in the pandemic, in lockdown actually, and it's called A Little Life, and it's by Hanya Yanagihara, and it's a really tragic, depressing read. But
during
really,
the pandemic too. Yikes.
Yeah, seriously depressing. Honestly, like don't read unless you have a strong constitution whilst reading, because it is quite tragic. But one of those books that just was so moving, like unexpectedly and surprisingly moving in so many ways, like good ways as well. And I think that's really special when you read a book that does that. Because I do enjoy reading when I get the chance, and I think it's rare. I think it's rare when you just feel so like blown over by a book. I think movies and TV shows can have a more like initial instinctual instant impact. Yeah, but books, they kind of like get into your skin, and
they do, and you can think about a book. Yeah, for me, if I have to like get into it within like the 30 or 60 pages in, and if not, I toss it. I'm really picky. My favorite, I don't even have it. I've been reading like there's these rom or romantic books by Colleen Hoover. Everyone is reading them. It Ends With Us. Kind of cheesy, but my favorite book actually is Call Me by Your Name by Andrea. It's pretty good. And The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. But that's about it for me.
Call Me by Your Name. Call Me by Your Name. Just remind me of I know that.
Andrew Ackerman. It's Andre, and then last name is Aciman. And it is a movie.
Yeah, I think I've seen the movie.
Yeah, but the book is actually better in my opinion. Just super detailed. But yeah, it's my absolute favorite. I could send it to you. I have the hard copy. All right, next question. We're almost done. Do you have a personal goal or dream that you haven't yet achieved? Besides being in a mystery movie. I know you mentioned that, but
like
it can be personal or acting career or both. I love to know about personal.
I suppose I should have said this earlier when you asked me what I wanted to be when I was younger, but the first thing was jockey. But I also wanted to be an author when I was younger too. So I would love to write a book one day. I really would.
Yeah.
But that is like a mammoth task.
It's a big task.
Yeah.
How about writing for film? Have you thought about that?
Yes, so I'm currently writing something like a pilot of an idea that I have with my partner and a friend, and we're like working it out, and I'm working out, what the series would look like, and all these things. So 100%, I'd love to create something that was mine for sure. Yeah, whether it's for film, TV, or whether it's a novel, I think something like that. Or like so satisfying just to finish something and be like,
it's your own thoughts. You can be so creative too. That's such a great project. I feel like that's a hobby, even though it is in the realm of film. That still gives you a little bit of hobby outside of like you
Totally.
figuring out a script. Oh, I love that. Good answer.
Mm.
All right. If you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
This is like the one where I'm like probably going to say something really silly. Oh gosh, I am. Well, no, it's not silly.
There's no right or wrong.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Good answer. Why?
Because I think I've said it like 7 times. Like
I know.
I am. Have you ever heard of a show called Buffy?
Yep.
I think
I know, Buffy.
I really like it. Well, I did. I still do. I just like. I loved that character. Like it was such an iconic
I gotta watch
thing.
it now.
It was amazing, and I would just love to. I would love to meet her. She's so cool. That's like my instinctual, response to you. I should probably think of somebody better. But
Someone said Gandhi, and someone said Frederick Douglass. Your answer is twat. I'm just kidding over there. No. No, that's a good answer though. I actually don't think about it. It's a hard answer.
It's actually a hard question, actually, and I'm a little bit cross you've asked me that.
We have 2 more questions. Okay, first one is what is something you're passionate about outside of your work? And it can't be astrology. Well, actually, who am I judging? Yeah, what is a passion outside of your work?
I like to get a hobby and then I'm like, I could do this as a career. I'm that kind of guy that like collects things and then I'm like, I'm going to do this professionally now.
I love that. No.
Like I've written a short novel and suddenly I'm like, I'm going to be an author. I'm like, or I've written,
Hey, you can though. Just say it, it will happen.
I drew something once and now I'm thinking about being an illustrator. But, I actually have a real passion, and this is like obviously as a performer, you have many different jobs like throughout your life. Just you tend to, and one job that I have, which I loved, was working with special needs students at school, and I'm really passionate about working with like the SEN community. I just think they're great. I had such an amazing time when I was working at school, and such amazing personalities, beautiful people. So yeah, that's something that I I'm passionate about and would like to do again in the future.
Oh, you can absolutely do that. That melts my heart. Great answer. And I get to you just speaking so well to the kids and such a mentor, like a mentorship role.
It was like that. Yeah, it was. And some of the kids have like quite some behaviors that are quite challenging and stuff. So it's demanding, but it was really special. And yeah, I'll never forget that. And I really treasure that. So yeah,
that's beautiful. And my last question kind of ties into that. What are some things that just make you happy or fulfilled in life?
Oh, yeah, that was like, working with those kids was really fulfilling, especially when you're kind of like also waiting for the phone to ring and things like that. It's like, it's grounding, and it's like, you don't feel like you're wasting time and doing stuff like that. But equally, like I've got like young nieces and nephews as well. So, spending time with them is great, and they're cute. Yeah. Like just super fun. It's actually one of their birthdays this weekend. So I'm going down to see my family and my parents and my sisters, and their families.
Yeah. Family.
Family.
Everyone says family. I love family's a perfect answer though.
Absolutely. And also we're going to a couple of theme parks. So like that's another hobby, passion, and where I feel like at peace and happy is a theme park.
That's Disney. Perfect. Come to Disneyland in Los Angeles. Let me know when you're here in California.
We went to Universal when we were there.
Cool. Yep, Universal is fantastic. I'm going to Horror Nights. Come in October. Horror Nights is a thing where they close it down late at night and with all these scary mazes. Have you heard of it?
I went to Florida in September last year. And
your reaction? I would have loved to see your reaction, Adam.
It was not okay. I was not. It was so scary.
I do punch people like reflexes that I didn't think I have. And I'm freaking fighting.
Well, at least you have the fight response. I'm probably like the freeze response.
Freeze, and then you're screwed.
Freeze and scream.
But what a fun chat today. Adam Colborne. People are going to know your name. Oh, okay. I guess this is my last question. Do you have any up and coming projects right now that you can share?
I have a really exciting project coming up. I can't talk about it.
Oh my gosh,
Which
yeah.
is like
Text
so
me
annoying.
after.
I know, it's so
Yeah.
awkward. But, yeah, there's something really fun
Yay.
coming out next year. So
Yay.
that's been super fun. So I
Okay.
can't wait.
I'll interview you after that.
Yeah, great. We'll do another one.
Fabulous. Adam, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank
You're
you
the
so much.
absolute best. All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Mwah.
Mwah. I'll see you later.
Enjoy. Thank you so much.
Bye. You're welcome.
Bye.